friends, welcome back to Challenge Accepted. This will be our first video, layout number 1, whatever you want to call it, for February 2020. Now we are going to take on for our challenge this sketch right here, which is at Redefined Kreative on Facebook. It's simple, it's cool. Those could be splatty bits, those could be enamel dots, they could be just about anything, these little dots that are here and there, but it makes it very interesting. We have a piece here that's currently circular, don't know if mine will be, with a title and subtitle. Some embellishing here, but for the most part we've got a partial band design going on the vertical. So that's kind of cool. Calls for 3 photos. I am using 1 because I have only 1 photo of the event I'll show you. Now I am using my kit to do this from Counterfeit Kit Challenge. So I've got some old school vintage looking and vintage Cosmo Cricut from 2010. Look at that side, my friends. Ugh. I'm gonna use this side. I also have this scrap of paper here. Don't know who it's from. Gonna use that with it. And for the part where the title is, I think I'm going to pull in this pocket page card. It is very cool. It's just a distressed teal with some stars on it. I like textures and patterns and all that kind of stuff. And the photo I'm going to use is this one right here. I took a picture of the picture. This picture is in an album that I have from the albums from the really early 1900s through like 1930. There's photos in there from that era. So this is a picture of my great grandpa Bill, and he's my, I guess he's my step grandfather. So no bloodline there, so bummer on the athleticism on that part. But he ran track for England and he was in the Olympics and all that kind of thing in the 20s. So that is a picture of him, and look at how cute he is. Anywho, so that's going to be that. That's why it's kind of easy to use these vintage papers that I'm not as into right now, but they were in my stash, and I'd like them to be used if I can. I'm going to use this right here. Oh, and if I forget, down below I'll have the link to what Kathy came up with for this sketch, and knowing her, it's going to be bright and colorful and awesome in every way, because that's the kind of crafter she is. All right, I'm going to try to use up as many goodies as I can from this current little kit selection that I have and take you along with me. Here we go, friends. So I'm going to follow the base of this layout pretty strongly. I mean, especially for me, and you can actually tell that I used the sketch when I was done with it. So I trimmed off the branding strip, and then I just trimmed down this black and cream polka dot. I'd say, what is it, like 10.5-ish. I have this little piece. Do you remember those sets by American Crafts? They had that craft piece. They had a different banner, not the one that you see there. Some ribbon and some like maybe rickrack on them. This is part of the end piece of that, the craft paper part of that set. I've gone through most of it because I do love some craft embellishments. I showed you right there some stickers that I had previously pulled off. That's one of those things, like I'll end up auditioning them. Doesn't mean I'll use them all, but I will use lots of them, and what I don't use I'll just put back on the sticker sheet. I just was trying to narrow my scope of what was in my kit. I ended up having to grab another set of alphas out of my stash because I'm trying to use the title with the word Bill, B-I-L-L, in it because he was Grandpa Bill. And in the vintage looking stickers that I had, not the hot pink ones with the sparkles, but the regular ones, I didn't have enough letters. So I had to go rogue on it a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and use this mulberry color to map my photo just so I can have a nice pop. That wasn't part of my original plan, but my plan is ever evolving when I get to scrapping. I also have this piece right here that's an old basic gray Christmas line. The back of it is just some swirly bits, and it'll brighten it up just a little bit around my photo. And I will still have, once again, leftover scraps. This was like a medium to large size kit, and I've used a ton of it, but boy do I have some left. as you see, I am going to go ahead and now triple matte, and it's going to bring some nice attention to that photo. This paper that you see here has all these banner strips, and I wanted to get that piece off that has that great aqua color as well as a newspaper strip. The newspaper made a lot of sense because, you know, it's, at least for our family, a historic event, so that worked. And I'm going to go ahead and trim it down to the same size as the black and cream paper, and I'm going to kind of use it as like a bit of a border on the right side. I've gone ahead and attached that black and white polka dot paper down. I'm going to go ahead also and get that pocket card put on the page. I'm kind of mimicking like in the sketch where it says title, that round bit. Mine is just going to be a lot more rectangular. I'm going to put my photo up on some fun foam. I like the kind that has adhesive on one side, probably because it seems slightly more dimensional, and yeah, it's already half done for me. I'm going to round off these this craft ribbon, cardstock ribbon, I don't know what you call it. I'm going to round it off and have it work as a bit of a ledge for my photo. Get my photo attached down, and that will be like the main, I guess, like the meat of the layout. I was seeing if that printed piece of paper you see right there would work on this layout, but no go for right now. And I'm going to go ahead and use like this smaller tape runner to try to get to some of those little bits and attach that banner or bunting, depending on where you live in the country. Some people, or in this world, some people call it bunting, I call it a banner. I did go ahead and put my title, which is just Grandpa Bell. That's what we called him. He was my great-grandfather, but we called him Grandpa Bell. We had Grandma Fern and Grandpa Bell on that side. And that will be my title. Now I have these craft little tags from I have no idea where. When I made this kit, I relied heavily on my color drawers, and that's where I brought in the craft stuff. I thought that looked a little bit more of a heritage look like this kit. The craft stuff, maybe charcoal color stuff like that seemed, or I guess popped in my head as elements that reminded me of heritage layouts. So I am going to go ahead and use these two additional pieces that I have from my banner piece, and they're going to be circular elements, and that will really help to kind of break up all those harsh edges on this page. I had some off-white twine on my desk, so I went ahead and popped that in that tag that is on that pocket page card. And now that Dream Big Little chipboard piece, that is from Prima. And yeah, some of these Prima stickers that I had, the ones that I pre-chosen, you could see a little bit of the color that was on the sticker adjacent to it, and so I just trimmed it off a little bit. It's not a big deal. Me use my T-square ruler, as you see, to make sure that's on straight. It is funny, like I want something super squared. Some things can be a little wonky, but when it's time for something to be squared off, it is definitely going to be squared off. I'm like that with home decor too, so it's just part of it. So see right there, like it's a blue sticker, but you can see the black beneath it. Now I had decided that it didn't matter that much because it was going to be on black paper, so I thought it would just kind of fade into it, that it wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'm going to attach another one of these. It's a smaller version of the tag in two different places in these, these little craft tags. And now comes the fun of the decorating bits, where I just get to see what stickers might work where. Some will be flat on the page, some will be up on dimensional adhesive. You know the whole thing. If you've been with me for a while, you know I like me some dimension. That's my little bin where I keep the Frankenstein pieces of fun foam. I don't like to waste any of those little bits because you never know when you just need a tiny bit. Oh, and yes, that is Mason snoring next to me. He is ever present in my voiceovers. So I wanted a little bit more of this red tone in my other clusters. In my clusters. I have it in the photo, but then it's like, well, why is it red? So I went ahead and grabbed this itty bitty tiny star punch. I think I got that for $1 once upon a time at Michael's. Remember they had those dollar bins? So I add one little cute red star to each of my clusters. Right now you only see it in two, but alas, it will make an appearance on another one of those little tags shortly. Now my cluster that is to the upper right of my photo looked like it needed a little bit more of that aqua color, so I went ahead on that what do you call that? On that border sheet, and just fussy cut out a little one of these kind of squares in order. I don't know, it just looked like it really wanted more up there. So went ahead and did that, and I'm already happy with it. That little cluster looks a lot more full and together for me. So from this sheet right here of they're kind of like rubber stickers, I will end up using 3 of these little, they're kind of like banner pieces, but they're also a little directional to me. And I do use all 3 on this layout, but I don't use any of the other pieces. They're a little too bold and bright and not vintage enough looking for what I was trying to do with this layout. I went ahead and grabbed just this cute little tiny heart off of my Prima chipboard sheet. The adhesive I'm using right there, it is the Aleene's Tacky Glue, and I like the one that has a nozzle that can permanently point downward. That way it is always at the ready and you don't have to wait for it to get up to the nozzle. It is just ready to go. And yeah, it really doesn't clog. It's kind of nifty. So right there you see I grabbed another little star, and I'm going to go ahead and put it up on that little craft tag. Next, these scrapbook nails. Do you guys remember these things? I've decided I don't like that they are uber dimensional. So the last layout I used them on, I just used the circular top as kind of like an enamel dot idea. And I'm going to do the same thing on this layout. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use up all of those circular dots and kill off this little package and just be happy about it. I bought them a long time ago at Tuesday Morning. There was 3 packages for $1. There was like a grayish set, which is what this one is. There was a yellow set and maybe a clear one. I don't know. Anywho, I'm going to use Zot's minuscule size glue dots to put them on, and they work like a charm. Okay, I've sprinkled them here and there, kind of like you see in the inspiration piece. And now I'm going into my enamel dots, and I decided to grab the ones that are in the white tones. I'm grabbing kind of like the orphan ones, you know, the ones that have just 1 or 2 left on each enamel dot sheet. So that's what, I mean, I'm going to be hunting a little bit to get them, but yeah, that's how I go about using up just a few pieces here and there. So I also go ahead and found this set, and I think these were from a Disney collection. This set, and I'm using different sizes of the black shiny ones. So I kind of have, those scrapbook nails are more of a satin, almost a matte finish. The white are definitely a matte finish with just a couple shiny ones, and then I have a couple shiny black. And I'm going to go ahead and finish off this layout for the most part with my different mists. So I'm going to go ahead and use a couple of different mists. I have this Heidi Swapp Color Shine in teal, and it does a great job as a color match for that pocket square, as well as the Prima teal colors, so that is cool. I'm going to use Tattered Angels Glimmer Mist in Black Magic, and I did go ahead and also use that Raspberry Heidi Swapp Color Shine. So there's a bit more of a close-up of this layout. I do like the way that it came together. I think I was able to keep that vintage feel with papers that were kind of in the middle of vintage and modern. Thanks so much for watching, friends.